I'm home. All the time it was... We finally really did it. You maniacs! You blew it up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
So I think we have to ask whether or not conventions are dead in Vegas. Like, is the party over? CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, starts up tomorrow. I'll be there. I'm part of the media. Apparently I get to go because I'm media. I'm very grateful for that. I'm going to go. I'm going to cover it. We're going to stream it probably on Thursday. But we have a big group of companies that have canceled this year's in-person events. And if this is anything like other types of businesses, this could be the start of the end of the major convention businesses coming to Vegas. I certainly hope not. I love conventions. I love that they bring some industry to the city. They bring tourists when it's a slow season. But we're going to talk about that right now. How's it going, guys? My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell for future notifications. Turn on those bells so you guys can know when I do news updates, live streams of the city. We talk about the industry here. We do analysis. If you guys leave us a comment, are you coming to CES or have you canceled it? I know a lot of people have canceled this, and we're going to get to those companies in just a moment. And we're going to talk about the idea that maybe everybody who said that conventions were dead during the pandemic was right. I don't know. We have to thank our channel sponsor in this video, by the way. We have two of them. We have Pinay Magazine. They're our main channel sponsor. Pinay Magazine is actually an Ethereum-based validator program. They are over on Instagram, and what they do is they showcase the global Pinay to the world. And a Pinay is a woman of Filipino origin. Their first issue has Pinays from North America appearing in the magazine, and their subsequent future issues will have Pinays from Australia, New Zealand, the EU, the UK, every acronym you can imagine. They buy the side of Resorts World every single month. That's the biggest advertising space in Vegas. So they love this city, and I love it too. And they're awesome, and we love them. So check them out over at Instagram. Hit the first link in this video's description and in the show more box of the first comment of this video. We also have VegasFaceMask.com, no S at the end. Nowadays, you got to wear a mask, and so you might as well wear ones that don't suck and aren't uncomfortable. These are actually 2 layers of cotton, all handmade by my wife. If you're forced to wear one, then wear one that's good in quality and support small little family business. VegasFaceMask.com. Not outsourced, goes over the back of your head, not your ears. No nose wire. We have solid colors, also patterns. VegasFaceMask.com, no S at the end. And shouts go out to TKEX over on Instagram. They help us with all of our Ethereum stuff, and they're awesome too. So check them out at the links below. All right, so we have to talk about this. A lot of companies not going to the Consumer Electronics Show. And you might think, well, okay, but there's actually 153 different companies that are now going to be DO, digital only exhibitors. So CES, if you don't know, the Consumer Electronics Show, comes into Vegas once per year. It is debatably the largest show of the year. 170,000 people typically would come in before COVID hit. And, you know, we have 3 million square feet of convention space. Started building the new convention center expansion right before the pandemic hit, and they just plowed on through. And I'm glad they did, because we need to be competitive with other markets. But 153 digital only, you might think, well, okay, that's a lot of small companies, right? How about this? Amazon, Google, General Motors, Ford, Lenovo, Microsoft, Pinterest, TikTok, Twitter, Meta, which you might still know as Facebook, T-Mobile CEO, his name is Mark Sievert, and he has canceled his keynote speech, which is the same thing that Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer back in the Microsoft days used to give, as well as Peloton. Some big companies right there. I think IBM is also canceled, but it's hard to find this information all in one spot. So why are they canceling? Omicron, flight cancellations. It's not the flight cancellations, but that's going to play a big factor in this too. Additionally, the Consumer Electronics Show was supposed to be held from January 5th till the 8th. It's now only going to be held on the 5th, 6th, and 7th. So they're chopping off an additional day for this thing. So it's kind of a bummer, and what they're doing to adjust is, and we have a way that we could save it. It's simple enough. We'll get to that in a minute. What they're doing to adjust is they're giving some money, or they're giving free passes to this thing that used to be a premium feature at CES if people had paid for these types of keynote keynote speeches, then they get to attend for free because, hey, there can be a lot less people, and they're going to refund people who have paid for that opportunity. But the real way I think they could save it would be simple enough. All you got to do, simple, right? Let the general audience be the general public be the audience. Let the general public attend. So you can't get into the CES, Consumer Electronics Show, unless you have industry credentials. Mercedes-Benz, for example, that's one I didn't even mention. They've also canceled. And they had the biggest display and the nicest automotive display in the whole section. They would show their future cars. If you are Mercedes-Benz, or you do something in the industry related to car tech, for example, you get industry credentials for CES and you can go. Or if you're like me and you're media, then you can go. You have to pay for a pass in some cases. I didn't have to pay for mine. I guess media gets in for free. Why not open that up to the general public? Why not make it so this year anybody can go? I mean, look, we all love technology. Technology rules our lives, and whether or not you love technology, you had to learn how to work with it in the last couple of years, especially if you were trying to, call into school if you're a student, or if you were trying to basically make it to a meeting and you couldn't have a meeting in person. We've all learned to begrudgingly use our technology. It's part of our lives now, whether we like it or not. You could sell passes to this thing and make a bucket load of money too. I think that would be actually a great idea. But the question remains that I put forth at the beginning of this video. Is this really the death knell for the convention industry? So think about it this way, okay? Every year, up until obviously COVID times, they had a big video game convention called the Electronic Entertainment Expo, it's E3 for short, that took place in June in Los Angeles, California at the convention center. Before this, video games were shown off at the Consumer Electronics Show. And before the Vegas only iteration, there was actually 2 Consumer Electronics shows, one in the winter and one in the summer, one in Vegas, one in Chicago. So slowly but surely, the industry changed when it came to video games. Companies like Nintendo would give a keynote speech. You had other companies that would give keynote speeches, but slowly but surely, even before COVID, these companies decided to have their own online speeches. And they would go strictly online. Nintendo is notorious for this as a technology company and a video game company, where they would rather do what are called Nintendo Directs. So companies are already taking themselves out of these big industry types of expositions for whatever reason and having their own event. And if they're a brand that's big enough, like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo in this case, Apple, they can hold their own events and still have the audience. And if not, they can even make it better. They can have a more of a focused audience in these cases. So that's why I say, are we at the end of the road for these giant conventions? It does hurt small businesses, and that's the main reason why I give lots of props and credit to Consumer Electronics Association that runs the CES show for not canceling this year's event entirely. I suspect it's because they know it's too late in the game to get their money back, but they say it's because they don't want to hurt the thousands of small business people that were going to come to the show to make new connections, new business deals. They've already invested money, they've rented valuable booth space, and they've already basically got everything on the line. And that's the truth of it too. This helps out small industry players more than it helps out the big guys. So the big guys can survive on their own. I guess it's one of those cases of the rich getting richer and the small struggling. But are we at the end of it all? That's the question. Are we at the end of the road for these things? It could very well be. It could very well be that we would rather stream an Apple event on our TV in 4K than actually fly to the event. It could be that the reporters that are covering the event don't need to be there in person to get the vibe of the room of the feel of the room of the vibe, and I screwed that one up and I'm going to keep going. It could be that they're happy just pausing it, taking their notes, pausing it, taking their notes, and then pumping out their story afterwards. I don't know, but there is something about tactile, hands-on feel with products. I'm looking forward to the show because I'm going to look at new telecom stuff. Samsung is going to be there. I'm going to see some new TVs. I'm going to take a look at some technology when it comes to virtual reality. And those are things that you just can't get that idea of how it's going to go if you're just doing it virtually online. You tell me what you think. Do you come to Vegas for conventions? Do you come to Vegas for business? Do you think that this is the new way of the future? I'd love to hear what you have to say. My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. Check out our channel sponsors, VegasFaceMask.com, as well as Pin Eye Magazine. Now's the time of the video where I say thanks for watching. We're going to give you a 3, 2, 1 click. Are you ready? You look at the camera, say 3, 2, 1, and click! Hey guys, I want to thank you guys for sticking around and watching, and if you love Vegas videos, you'll find some more near my head. You can click on them and watch more Vegas-y stuff. Thanks so much. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Alright, am I done? Can I leave? Can I turn off the camera? I think I'm done now, right?